Hello there and welcome to the program. This is Energy and You, a weekly highlight of happenings around Nigeria's energy sector with a focus on NNPC Limited. I'm Egusa Igumbo. Our major stories tonight. NNPC Limited promotes inclusivity and accessibility for the physically challenged at the workplace. This is in commemoration of this year's International Day for the Disabled. And the utilization of gas for economic growth and prosperity. Today, we take a closer look into the operations of the NNPC Gas Infrastructure company. Plus, NNPC Limited champions a social reformation and reorientation program aimed at entrenching moral values in society. Details of these stories and more in today's episode. Please join us again. Welcome again to the program. Now, as the world commemorates the International Day of the Disabled, Nigeria's energy company says it will continue to give equal opportunity to everyone in the workplace as part of its ideals to promote ability in disability. The energy company demonstrated this commitment recently at an event to mark the day. NNPC also celebrated the International Anti-Corruption Day, which had as its theme, Uniting with the Youth Against Corruption, Shaping Tomorrow with Integrity. The company restated its commitment to fostering a culture of transparency and accountability. Well, let's see how the company celebrated these special occasions.
The International Day for Persons Living with Disabilities is observed globally to promote the rights and well-being of individuals with disabilities and raise awareness of their contributions to society. This year, NNPC Limited marked the day with a meaningful celebration, reaffirming its commitment to inclusivity. Coinciding with the recently concluded recruitment computer-based test CBT, the celebration took on an inspiring tone as NNPC Limited hosted a dinner to honor its staff and shortlisted candidates living with disabilities. Speaking at the event, the Chief Human Resource Officer, Fatima Yakubu, highlighted NNPC Limited's unwavering resolve to build an accessible and inclusive workplace where talent thrives regardless of ability.
We're looking forward to you going through our process, passing our tests, passing our interviews, and joining us on this side so that you can bring your special abilities to our business to enable us grow and add value.
The Managing Director, NNPC Properties Limited, Mrs. Folashade Adeke, also reiterated NNPC Limited's commitment to supporting persons with disabilities.
As NNPC Limited, we're very passionate about having those of us in the room with special abilities.
On his part, the Head of Sustainability, Corporate Strategy and Sustainability Division, Mr. Chinedu Igwe, emphasized NNPC Limited's dedication to providing equal opportunities for everyone.
Our recruitment exercise is one of the best anywhere in the world. We've always said it over and over again. We give equal chance to everybody. So I was thinking that we give equal chance to everybody. Just people who are like me, right? But we give equal chance to you. No matter what the disadvantage you have or the advantage you have, we give that equal opportunity to everybody.
Some of the participants shared their personal aspirations and perspectives on the event.
My aspiration basically is to grow as an accountant and to build knowledge in the financial sector of the oil and gas industry.
I want to join NNPC, which is the heartbeat of the Nigerian economy, so that I contribute my own quota towards the prosperity and development of this giant company, so that it becomes one of the best oil companies, not only in Africa, but in the world.
I wish to bring my environmental, sustainability, and expertise into the organization.
My aspiration is to see a world where everyone is equal everyone has the opportunity, everyone has the voice, the place, let's say the stage or the table to voice out their aspirations and opinions.
Some of the company's disabled staff also had this to say on the event.
NNPC will never discriminate against the physically challenged people. They've always taken us as one. No discrimination, no segregation.
In NNPC, we practice we practice diversity, we practice inclusion. And I am enjoying every experience. My job in NNPC, I'm enjoying every bit of it in NNPC.
The event concluded with the presentation of gifts to persons with disabilities, including wheelchairs and other mobility aids for their empowerment. Through initiatives like this, NNPC Limited underscores its roles as a catalyst for change, inspiring a culture of excellence, equity, and inclusivity in the oil and gas sector. The International Day for the Disabled is observed on December 3rd every year. The observance of the day aims to promote an understanding of disability issues and mobilize support for the dignity, rights, and well-being of persons with disabilities. It also seeks to increase awareness of gains to be derived from the integration of persons with disabilities in every aspect of political, social, economic, and cultural life.
In a related development, NNPC Limited also joined the rest of the world to observe the International Anti-Corruption Day. It is an event that serves as a global reminder of the urgent need to combat corruption and foster integrity across all sectors. This year's theme, Uniting with Youth Against Corruption, Shaping Tomorrow's Integrity, highlights the vital role young people play in building a transparent future. The Group Chief Executive Officer, NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, in his address to commemorate the day, emphasized the importance of staff as exemplary ambassadors of integrity. He commended the company's unwavering commitment to systematic operations that consistently deliver value to stakeholders.
Corruption is about discretion. If you don't have discretion, nobody will compromise you. Business ethics is a part of doing things right. And of course, it also has a way of linking up to corrupt practices. There's no doubt about it.
Reiterating the collective responsibility to combat corruption, Chief Compliance Officer, Governance, Risk and Compliance, Nasir Osman, stressed that maintaining a corruption-free system is key to fostering ethical practices within the organization.
As a company, NNPC Limited has recorded important milestones in the fight against corruption and in creating a culture of transparency and integrity. The details will be highlighted in the ensuing presentation.
Speaking on the event's youth-focused theme, Head of Business Ethics, Governance, Risk and Compliance, Janatu Gamawa, underscored the significance of empowering young people as agents of change in the fight against corruption.
We need to take it to heart that whatever we do in our personal space, whatever corruption we're involved, it does have an impact on us and on our company.
NNPC Limited's commitment to promoting integrity and accountability aligns seamlessly with the core message of International Anti-Corruption Day, reinforcing its position as a trailblazer in ethical governance and operational excellence. On 31st October 2003, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Convention Against Corruption and designated 9th December as International Anti-Corruption Day to raise awareness on corruption and of the role of the convention in combating and preventing it. It came into force in 2005. This year's marks the 20th edition.
We are the dynamic global energy company of choice, steering the course of Nigeria's biggest export industry. With years of commitment, delivering greater value and improving lives, NNPC is transformed to better meet your everyday energy needs as the largest contributor to the Nigerian economy, generating clean, sustainable energy with integrity, excellence, and creating value for all stakeholders.
Energy for today, energy for tomorrow, energy for tomorrow. Come on, let's go.
Let's now bring you an update on the war on crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism by NNPC Limited and its partners.
The war on crude oil theft is on, and the industry-wide security collaboration on hydrocarbon infrastructure continues to record remarkable progress. Between the 7th and 13th December 2024, a total of 212 incidents were recorded across the Niger Delta region. These successes were made possible through the joint efforts of NNPC Limited's Command and Control Center, Tantita Security Agency, Shell Petroleum Development Company, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, Maton Engineering Nigeria Limited, Owando PLC, Seplat, Pears Energies, and government security agencies. At Kula 2 in Rivers State, a 6-inch illegal pipeline was discovered connected to a federal pipeline. In Ikensi, Bayelsa State, over 5 kilometers of hose snuck through the creeks, siphoning crude oil from a major federal pipeline. The adverse effects damaged ecosystem and severe environmental degradation. Similar discoveries were made at Adikiama and Owando's pipeline to brass at Opotuari in Bayelsa State. These illegal connections have since been dismantled, with engineers promptly repairing the affected sites. Illegal refineries were also destroyed at Emugan 2, Akwa Odogwa, Kula 2, and Asa in Rivers State. Okodia, Ikarama, Yanagua in Bayelsa State, Ikuriato 8, Umwelechi, Isimiri in Abia State, and Southern Okanafun 1 in Akwa Ibom State. What appeared at first glance to be a fish pond turned out to be a massive crude oil storage site uncovered at Obuzo in Abia State. Elsewhere, security forces discovered stolen crude oil stored in sacks and jerrycans at Ukwa, Ipu South, and Ikuriato East in Abia State, Okodia and Yanagua in Bayelsa State, Omuku and Abalama in Rivers State. A failed illegal connection at Ole 1 in Delta State caused a significant oil spill. While a vandalized pipeline at Okrika 6 in Rivers State left devastation in its wake. The sights and sound from these scenes tell a harrowing story. On land, vehicles laden with stolen crude oil were intercepted at Elele, Ebocha, Port Harcourt, Onosi, and Aleto in Rivers State, as well as Oheli North in Delta State. On water, wooden fiber boats flowing with stolen crude oil were seized at Bile, Abalama, Etimupu, Ohaobu, and Southern Okanafun 1 in Akwa Ibom State, and West Boma in Bayelsa State. The week's incident spanned key corridors: 78 in the Central Corridor, 107 in the Eastern Corridor, 20 in the Western Corridor, and 7 in deep blue water. A total of 31 suspects were apprehended and handed over to government security agencies for investigation. For NNPC Limited, there is no backing down on the war against crude oil theft until the menace is eradicated for good.
NNPC Gas Infrastructure Company plays a pivotal role in the nation's gas utilization program. Through its network of pipelines, the company transports gas to homes and industries across the length and breadth of the country. In this interview, Managing Director of the company, Seyi Omotowa, sheds more light on the operations of the company.
The NNPC Gas Infrastructure Company, NGIC, plays a pivotal role in the nation's gas utilization program. With a pipeline network of 2,000 kilometers, NGIC transports gas to home and industries across the length and breadth of the country. Engineer Sheyi Omotowa, the managing director of the company, says NGIC is committed to the federal government's gas utilization and expansion program.
So NGIC is at the forefront in the midstream section of the oil and gas industry. It's the largest transporter of gas in the country, and our mandate is to operate, maintain, and transport gas from the upstream and deliver it to end users in the domestic market. And also we have a point of exit to the West African gas pipeline that takes gas to Togo, Benin, and Ghana. So we are the significant dominant transporter of gas in the country, and we have a large footprint of gas pipelines across 11 states of the country.
He highlighted how NGIC is focused on building a sustainable gas ecosystem that supports national energy security and economic growth.
NGIC is positioned to help in the actualization of the decade of gas mandates, which is to get gas as the fuel, safe, clean fuel energy into the country. And our gas infrastructure is the backbone on which everything rides. The CNG initiative all come through from the backbone infrastructure that we are putting in.
In compliance with the requirements of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA 2021, and Environmental Guidelines and Standards for the Petroleum Industry in Nigeria 2018, the NGIC was awarded the Commissioning and Abandonment Certificate from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. What does this award mean to the company?
So it was very critical and is a good landmark. It's the first in the country. When the PIA came into effect and NMDPRA became our regulator, we were very proactive in looking ahead all the implications that the PIA has for NGIC, because it's a new field for all of us in that space. And one thing came out, the decommissioning and abandonment requirement that NGIC needs to put in place, and we need to set aside money in an escrow account to be able to handle decommissioning. For us, it was very important, so we had to look quickly inwards and try to bring up processes to enable us accomplish this requirement of the PIA, and we tried to do that quickly. Also, the regulator is a new field for them. This is the first that went through their mill, and there was also a learning process for the authority.
Looking ahead, Engineer Omotowa outlined exciting prospects for NGIC, detailing plans for new projects aimed at expanding the company's infrastructure and increasing investment in renewable gas technologies.
So with our mandate, we have no other obligation than to keep expanding in terms of our gas infrastructure. So at the moment, we are working on the AKK pipeline that is going to take gas from Ajaokuta through Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, ultimately. So that's a big project. It's over 620 kilometers of pipeline. We are working on the OB3. The river crossing is a big challenge we are working on to link up the remaining part of OB3. And OB3 will be able to link east part of the country, which is largely cut off at the moment. And they are able to bring in gas that are stranded in the eastern part of the country.
Engineer Omotowa's insights and the significant milestones achieved by NGIC showcases the intersection of regulatory compliance, environmental responsibility, community engagement, and NNPC Limited's commitment.
Energy for tomorrow. So come on, let's go.
Well, let's take a moment here. Energy and You will be back with more stories. Please stay with us.
It's a continuation of an agreement we signed with government when there was increase in pump price of petroleum products. Part of that agreement was that this station must work.
going through the plant, we were shown the various processing units. We were shown the burners, we were shown the heat exchangers, we were shown the compressors, the turbine, and how all these processes tied into the production of the petroleum products as are today.
They took us around to reconfirm what we already know, as an insider. Well, before I came here, I knew that the place was working.
And now that it is working, it is our duty, to come here to confirm that it is working.
So, relatively and to a very large extent, we are satisfied. I and my team, we are satisfied with what we have seen, with the level of work and the level of detail that went into it.
You're watching Energy and You. Now, the pervasiveness of social problems in Nigeria is of great concern to both the government and non-governmental agencies alike. In a move aimed at entrenching moral values in society, NNPC Limited sponsored a stage drama, Once Upon Four Robbers. The play, written by Professor Femi Osofisa, was done in Abuja over the weekend.
As a company whose operations are heavily hindered by the nefarious activities of criminal elements such as crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism, it was not out of place to see NNPC Limited throw its weight behind the staging of a drama, Once Upon Four Robbers, a thought-provoking play by Professor Femi Osofisa that explored the lives of four robbers as they attempt to survive in the 1970s Nigeria by engaging in criminal activities. The drama highlights the difference between survival and morality, as well as the humanity of society and the essence of community resilience in tackling societal vices. Speaking at the event, NNPC's chief spokesperson, Mr. Femi Shoneye, said that if every Nigerian operationalizes the time-honored values of love and morality, there will be less crime and acts of economic sabotage in the country.
The play teaches a lot of sense, teaches us to be good citizens, teaches us to display good character, good attitude, positive attitude. And so for us as a responsible company, we think this is good for us to show to the public. And this is what we want for Nigeria and for Nigerian citizens.
On his part, the author of the book, Professor Femi Osofisa, expressed surprise that a book written in the 1970s was still relevant in today's world, while stressing the need for leaders and followers to embrace moral reformation for a better society.
This play was written many years ago, and it's surprising how relevant and topical it is, dealing with the question of morality, question of robbery, question of the humane values of our society.
Sponsored by NNPC, the drama will no doubt inspire dialogue and provoke reflection on the need for societal reform. It was an excellent representation of African storytelling.
NNPC Limited has reaffirmed its commitment to promote local content and foster development in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. This was at the 13th Practical Nigerian Content Forum held in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital. The event brought together stakeholders in the oil and gas sector to discuss innovations, collaborations, and the future of local content in Nigeria. Energy and You caught up with some of the participants to get their views on the company's impact at the event.
Looking at NNPC, all of us in Nigeria knows that NNPC is the bigger umbrella when you're talking of Nigerian oil and gas sector. And looking at where Nigeria is going and other things, we believe that NNPC, by His grace, will produce more of the CNG in order to help Nigerians in terms of natural gas.
I went to the NNPC booth. Honestly, it's one of the best booths you can see there. So thumbs up NNPC.
At this year's PNC, NNPC participation has always been fantastic, as always. Being the company that prides itself as the mother or the industry leader in looking for energy for today as well as energy for tomorrow.
Interacted with NNPC and we see what you're doing at a global scale. Thank you for capacity building. Thank you for your opportunities for youth and women as well.
Well, here's a summary of international energy news for this week. Oil prices dropped on Monday from their highest levels in several weeks, but traders took profit and prepared for US Fed's rate decision on expectations that another rate cut will boost prices. The falls were, however, limited by concerns of supply disruptions in the event of more US sanctions on major suppliers, Russia and Iran. Brent crude fell 29 cents to $74.20 a barrel. Shell has announced that its Nigerian subsidiary has made a final investment decision on Bonga North, a deep-water project off the coast of Nigeria. The project, which will help maintain oil and gas production at Bonga, will be connected to Shell's floating production, storage and offloading facility, where the oil major holds a 55% stake. Shell said Bonga North has an estimated recoverable resource volume of more than 300 million barrels of oil equivalent and will reach peak production of 110,000 barrels of oil per day, with the first oil expected by the end of the decade. British multinational oil company BP and Abu Dhabi National Oil Company's international investments arm XRG said they have closed the deal for a new natural gas joint venture in Egypt. This news comes as ADNOC expands its efforts to grow abroad. The joint venture, Arceus Energy, is 51% owned by BP and 49% owned by XRG. BP Chief Executive Murray Auchincloss said Arceus Energy brings together the strengths of two companies to create a dynamic new platform for international growth in natural gas in the region. Greece-based energy group Metlin has applied for a second listing on the London Stock Exchange, seeking to strengthen its presence in international markets. Metlin's shares trade on Athens Stock Exchange, to which the Greek group is expanding fast through acquisitions in the energy sector, with a market capitalization of 4.9 billion euros. Their aim is also to be included in FTSE 100, where Metlin is bucking the trend of companies leaving the London market since Britain quit the European Union.
For NNPC Limited, there is no backing down in its mission to provide a safe, sufficient, sustainable and cleaner fuel for Nigerians.
And that's where we wrap up the show today. Thank you for watching. If you missed any part of the show or previous episodes, you can catch up by scanning the QR code on your screen now. Remember to follow us on all our social media handles to get updates of all the activities of NNPC Limited. Thanks again for watching. I'm Egusa Igumbo. See you next time.